Hey, what's up, my YouTube fam? I'm back. This is Larry with Invest and Build Your Credit and Wealth. Today, we're going to have an exciting class. We're going to be talking about third-party credit reporting agencies that collect data on you. We're going to talk about all the different ones, why they are important when you're trying to dispute information, where the credit bureaus may be going to obtain information to give you this information that's been verified. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons of freezing these reports. Can you dispute information on these reports to kind of keep the credit bureaus from going back trying to verify it? We're going to talk about all of that stuff in this class. Hey, you got to excuse me, rough. Some of y'all know moving back to my home state of Texas, so it's been kind of rough just moving, getting the house squared away. Picked up the U-Haul, picked up the car trailer to trailer my car back. Oh, hey, I'm starting a car channel, so if y'all want to follow me on the build of my C63S AMG, all the performance things, yeah, the description will be down. Uh, the YouTube page will be down in the description. And so you can go subscribe to the channel, follow if you're into those type of things. But it's all about showing you, hey, how do you get your credit right, that afford you other opportunities to be able to do other things that you want to do. I'm just trying to show you a testimonial, how we can improve our financial future and start doing other things that we like to do, that we always dreamed of doing, that our credit always held us back from. So if you want to subscribe, go to my other channel, subscribe, follow me on that build and everything I'm doing in my car and hanging out. Definitely come out and hang out with me. But this channel is about helping you fix your credit, right? This is what it's all about. You got to excuse, I look kind of rough, ain't been shaving. It's just, man, all the boxing and cleaning and just getting the house ready, the house sold. So great. I mean, we had this house built in 2019. We moved in. We only been in this house 18 months. And what we paid for the house and what we sold the house, huge difference, right? So just in 18 months, we made a huge profit. So don't let people tell you buying a house is a bad investment, right? It's not a bad investment. You just have to be patient how the market moves. And it's always great because remember, when you buy something, you eventually pay it down and eventually pay it off. Eventually, every year you pay it, unless there's just a drastic change in our economy, you're gonna make money on it, right? Except something like a car or anything like that, unless you're buying an exotic or something. But other than that, property, buying a house, everybody should own a house. Everybody should buy a house. I mean, even for me, I'm looking to get more into some more real estate venture. That's why I want to move back to Texas to continue to grow my wealth. So that's what it's all about. So let's get into this class. It's going to be very informative, and it's things I think a lot of people don't know. They hear about like Nexus, Lexis, Sagestream. They hear about some of those data furnaces, Corelogic, American Resolution Solutions. They hear about it, but do they really understand, what kind of information do they obtain? Can you dispute the information on there? What is the process, right? Can you freeze the accounts? All that. Will it help you in disputing? All that type of stuff. And we're gonna cover that. And we're gonna talk about a couple things that people really don't talk about. But on this channel, I dig deep. So hey, subscribe to the channel. Please share the channel for people out there. This is a real credit repair channel with real information, not just information passed from one person to the next person. It's really digging down into more information to help you make better decisions on your credit repair strategies, right? And that's what it's all about. Credit repair strategies. You should have multiple strategies on how to fix your credit, not one. A lot of people just talk about one strategy. What if that one strategy doesn't work? So what other strategies you're going to do? You want to talk to people that's going to tell you multiple strategies to try to resolve your issue. And that's what I want, and that's what I like. There's multiple strategies. This strategy may not work. It may work for one client, next client it don't work for. So what you're going to do? Do you have another strategy, another approach to try to get them to their desired score, or to help them get their credit report where it needs to be so they can do the things they need to do? And that's what it's all about, and that's what I'm here. So the first thing we're going to talk about, I don't think people really talk about this. There's a report called the Accurint Report. It's ACCURINT. Google it, look it up. The Accurint Report may include information about personal information like your employment, education, your location, your job, occupation, your credit report, your credit history, your public records. All this is in this report, right? All this stuff is in this report. I'm going to read you something. It says, while the Accurint is also available for law enforcement, legal professionals, government agencies, nonprofit, and other businesses, collections is its main industry. So if you got collection accounts, you got all that stuff on your credit report, you got to look at this report. It's not just LexisNexis, Corelogic, Sagestream, all these different third-party, I call them data collectors because that's what they do. They collect data on all of us. I preach this all the time. Even for LexisNexis, everybody should pull their consumer report, right? They should always pull that and see, okay, what kind of information are they holding? Is that all my information? Is there other people's information on there? I recommend that everybody does it. I know when I ordered mine, it was about that thick. It was like a book when I got it. It had a lot of information in there. So, but again, the Accurint Report, their main business is collection, is in the collection industry. Debt collectors find all of this information, all this useful information when they try to collect on a debt. However, there are laws preventing debt collectors from using threatening and scare tactics, you know the deal, to coerce you into making payments, right? But this information on this report helps them to collect on those debts, right? A little bit more, the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, the FDCPA, protects you from collection harassment, which we understand. Only those who have legitimate needs are allowed access to consumer reports. Additionally, anyone using your LexisNexis report must notify you if negative information appears, right? So that's one report. Look it up. Do your research. You know me, I'm going to tell you because I do my research on this stuff. And this is why a lot of these data furnishers, you should be looking to see what they have on their report, right? There's nothing saying that you can't dispute this. You can dispute any information somebody's going, because this could be wrong information that's being placed on these reports. And to me, I think sometimes that's why information gets on your credit report, because it's on it's on some of these companies who collecting data. They got wrong information and they're sending this wrong information to the credit bureaus. You know, your personal information, definitely when you're trying to correct personal information like Lexis, you know, you should freeze that account. Personal information, if you're trying to correct it and get it done, freeze the account. Freeze it, dispute it. Because you have to understand, how are they getting personal information? How are they getting your addresses and all that? Just think about it. They're not going to the original creditor. They're not doing that. They're going to who collect data on you. We're going to go. So again, if you know in my last video that I did, you know, LexisNexis is used by Experian and then Equifax. LCI is used by TransUnion. In my last video, I tried to tell you that you can freeze your LexisNexis, but you can't freeze LCI, but you can dispute the information on there. You can request information on there and then see is it accurate or you have inaccurate information on there and dispute that information. By disputing that information, will help you correct the issues on your credit report. If you can get it off those reports, you have a better likelihood of getting it off your credit report. Think about that. People don't really talk to you about that. So the next one, we've been talking about LexisNexis. So LexisNexis is reporting false information about you. Is that true? Is that not true? Right? So listen, you can obtain a free copy of your LexisNexis report. I'm telling you, everyone should do it. Right? After you receive it, you should be sure to go over the information, look at it, see do you have any addresses that don't are not your address, any insurance information, any public record information like bankruptcies. That's why people say freeze your Nexus. Lexis kind of gives you a better chance to remove bankruptcies, right? Because that information is obtained on your Lexis account, right? But I tell you to freeze multiple accounts. Freeze those accounts. So because I believe that they cross-reference information. People don't really talk about that, but I believe, TransUnion, Experian, they cross-reference information and they verify information because they know even if you try to take them to court, they know, and it's legitimate because maybe you're trying to get something off that may be legitimate. I'm not telling you that's what you should do. I'm telling you people do it. Let's just keep it real, right? They may be cross-referenced. You taking to court, they say this is legitimate. So I'll just say freeze everything. Freeze everything when you're trying to get information off. Especially if you have a very poor credit score, you're not going to get any credit anyway. And if you do get credit, the interest rates are so crazy, you're going to be putting yourself in debt. So freeze all these credit reports that I'm talking about, right? So they all make mistakes. All of them. Corelogic, American Resolution Solutions, LexisNexis, Sagestream, they all make, just like the credit reports make errors, they do it too. So make sure you look at those reports. You can request the information on these reports. People don't talk about that, but you can request. They just tell you to freeze it. But they don't even tell you to look at the information and see if that information is accurate so you can dispute that information. You may not even need to freeze it if you can dispute it and get that information off your credit report, right? You can do that. A lot of people don't talk about that, but if you dig deep, like I do, you can go in there and request information to see if that information is accurate on those reports and dispute that information, right? They cannot be housing inaccurate information on you. So disputing the LexisNexis accurate error. So I'm gonna read something to you. If your accurate report contains error, contact them and dispute the information. LexisNexis will have 30 days to investigate your dispute and correct the information. If your LexisNexis dispute is ignored or unresolved after 30 days, you have a right to sue. If a debt collector contacts you about false debt on your accurate report, or if you have lost your job due to your background check, you may be entitled to damages. Think about that. If you lost your job because they did a background check and they ran it through LexisNexis and that information is wrong, you may be able to sue for damages, right? Because that information hurt you, right? So caused you to lose your job, which was a source of income, which paid your bills, which made it difficult for you to pay your bills. It puts you in a financial situation. That's you would be entitled to damages, right? So that's why you should be looking at that report and making sure that report has accurate information on it, right? Some people just, again, don't just freeze a report. Look and see what's on the report. Like, you don't even know what's on it. You may be able to dispute that information off and not even have to freeze it, right? Think of the process. So, the other things you need to talk about, they say, well, what if you did find information that was inaccurate, you lost your job and stuff like that on your LexisNexis account? How do you sue? It says if Lexis violates your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, contact a consumer protection attorney, right? There are many of them out there, right? So just call them. If you want to get free legal help today, fill out a case review form or call 1-877-735-8600, right? Now let's dig a little deeper about LexisNexis, right? People don't talk about them, right? They do stuff that's jacked up like everybody else, right? But let's talk about it. Do people know there was a class action lawsuit and a settlement against LexisNexis? So in 2014, LexisNexis paid out $13.5 million in a class action settlement approved by a Virginia federal judge. The 200 million members of the class action filed a lawsuit against LexisNexis alleging that the company sold its accurate report to debt collectors and did not handle these reports as consumer reports as they should have under the terms in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? So this is what I'm saying. They be selling your information to debt collectors. Think about that. So that's why I say it's always look at these reports. Look at it. Get this stuff off these reports. It will better help you dispute information off your credit report. So another report we talk about is the Clue report, right? We talk about that. It's a part of Lexis report. It's actually the big file that they send you, right? It obtains a lot of information. Some of the information, a lot of it is used by underwriting. So people don't talk about that either. What underwriters may be using. That's why if you freeze your Lexis sometime and you're trying to apply for a mortgage or something, then they won't approve you because you have some information that they can't obtain. It's frozen or it's froze and they can't get to the information. So comprehensive loss underwriting exchange called Clue, right? That's what it is. Report details a 7-year period of personal auto, property claims. Insurance companies use the Clue report. They generated by LexisNexis in the underwriting process and to determine premiums. The report includes insured personal information, policy numbers, types, dates of loss, claim status, amount paid, right? Insured property or vehicle information. So if you're wondering why you went from State Farm to Progressive and you're wondering why you're not getting a discount, is because they probably pulled the Clue report and see that you had 4 accidents, and in those 4 accidents the insurance company paid out $10,000 per each accident. So now the new insurance company looked at that Clue report and said, nah, we can't give them the best rate. They have a pattern of being in accidents. They filed $30,000 in claims. So their insurance is gonna be $250 a month instead of $105 a month, right? So it's important. Again, all these people collect data on you, right? They collect, and a lot of these other companies that give out credit cards or insurance premiums are pulling this information to determine how much money they could extract from you. They can take from you, right? The system is, man, there's always a way for them to make sure they get as much out of you as possible. They say it's a protection from our company to make sure we don't go bankrupt trying to take care of people. But I think we all know it's abuse, and it's you have one accident and then they want to still raise your premium up to an outrageous amount when you've paid for that accident probably 5 times over. So you should obtain your clue report. Another thing, only homeowners insurance can order clue reports. Again, only homeowners and insurers can order clue report. Sellers can order a special version called the Clue Home Seller Disclosure Report, which safeguards the owner's personal information and shows a 5-year loss history for property. But they're still getting the report. They're still trying to see what kind of claims you made and what they can do to try to extract more money from you, right? And all this stuff you can read. If you want this information, I will email this information to you. So if you want it, you know me, free. If you want it, my email is in the description. Email me and say, hey, Larry, I looked into that class. You gave a lot of good information. Can you email me that information that you got? I have no problem emailing it to you. So you can read over it, look over it, really educate yourself on this, right? There's something called a homeowner scorecard. Can also affect homeowners insurance premium, right? So all this information, now they're giving you a score to determine what kind of homeowner insurance policy they're gonna give you and how much they're gonna charge you, right? So that's some of the information that they obtain from you, which is mind-blowing sometimes, that they just collect all this information. I know when I got my LexisNexis report, I was like, dang, man, they got everything. They got from the first address on there that when I probably applied for rent or applied for some credit in the very beginning. And it's a lot of information. Let's talk about staying on top of your bankruptcy case to speed recovery, right? When pursuing debtors who file bankruptcy, you need to stay abreast of important developments across the life cycle of bankruptcy, including filing, access, dismissal, discharge, and other bankruptcy events that affect your ability to collect. We talked about in my last video some of the things you need to be looking at on your credit report when you're going through the process of trying to remove a bankruptcy, right? And then that video you'll be able to see the video just going to the next video, especially at the end of this video, it'll pop up. It's the last video I put up, you'll be able to go and look at that class. The LexisNexis Banco Event Monitor makes it easy to stay on top of key developments while remaining in a compliance. It's access millions of bankruptcy records and combine the information with LexisNexis advanced data matching and linking technology to generate automatic alerts over 600 unique bankruptcy related events. Then you can review all the docs you need to see, and only when you receive notifications. So it's just a system, but again, it's a system that LexisNexis use to track bankruptcies. Basically, that's what it is. But you can get those bankruptcies removed, right? I did it on my LexisNexis account, and it's in my last video, how to remove bankruptcies. Another crazy thing is recognizing cell phone associated with accounts. Did y'all know that they now, because we're so cell phone driven, they're using our cell phone numbers to link to our accounts, right? It's crazy. And the more when I was trying to put this class together and I was digging in information, I was like, wow, man, not even taking our cell phones and using that information against us. The more, and this is something that I'm gonna read that I found, that said the more and more people are choosing to save money by giving up their landline phones and relying solely on their cell phones. Over 50% of households have gone wireless only. These make your efforts to locate right parties more challenging because of regulatory requirements that apply specifically to cell phones. Although Telephone Consumer Protection Act, the TCPA, has initially enacted to discourage unsolicited phone calls from telemarketing. It has been at the axe of the recent lawsuit regarding calls from debt collectors to cell phones. Without visibility into the identity associated with the cell phone number, you find it difficult to stay in compliance and prevent costly violations. LexisNexis phone ownership identification delivers a holistic picture of cell phone ownership. It combines robust phones and consumer content with industry-leading identity relationships association linking to determine every possible connection between the consumer and the phone number provided. So better said, to break it down in layman's terms, when you're applying for an account, you put that number in there. Now they're taking the number and linking to that account to find you, to say this is your account. Now they're using your cell phone number to do that, right? Which is, man, it's crazy the tactics they use, right? And you got to understand all these tactics. If you could understand all these tactics, trying to fix your credit report becomes much easier. Like all of these, that's why I talk about strategies. That's why I talk about when you learn different things, you learn more about strategies to help you try to fix, the things that are on your credit report. So speed debt recovery, right? Analytics-driven results, right? This is something else I pulled up that was really it was just kind of mind-blowing to me. To be effective in collection, you need to leverage the most efficient tools to locate and contact debtors. See, for me, I work the reverse way. I want to know how they operate, because if I know how they operate, then I know how to put together a good plan to correct some issues, right? So, and ideally, you want to get them before the competition, so you can be first in line to receive payment. All right. So I kind of cut off, so let me read through that again. It says, to be effective in collection, you need to leverage the most efficient tools to locate and contact debtors. And ideally, you want to get them before the competition, so you can be first in line to receive payment. And that's what it's all about. LexisNexis phone solution for collection helps you focus research strategies and gain more right party contact results and critical phone data insight. The solutions are powered by advanced analytics and LexID, which produces over 99.99% accurate to link identity records, giving you more precise right party contact result, right? The right person to contact. That's what that's saying. 99.99% accurate. That's what they tell you, right? Whether you're searching for a person's best phone number, trying to match a person with a phone number, or simply want to arbitrate from a phone number, LexisNexis phone solution drives workflow efficiency so you can collect faster. So LexisNexis, that's what I'm saying. That's why you need to make sure that you eliminate as much data as you can, especially from LexisNexis, to help you be able to resolve stuff that's on your credit report. We already talked about the class action lawsuit. The LexisNexis has a service for debt collectors called the Accurate. We already talked about that, in which it sells financial information about debtors they are trying to collect on. So that's why it's important to have that report. So let's talk about the next. We talked a lot about LexisNexis. Now we're going to talk about American Resolution, which is ARS. American Resolution, this is an attempt. They always going to, listen, Whenever you get a letter from a debt collector, this always must be in the letter. Definitely the very first letter you receive. If you receive a letter, your first letter, and that's not in there, it's already a violation. They should not be sending you any other letter without this information. This is an attempt to collect the debt. Any information obtained shall be used for that purpose. This is from a debt collector. That is what should be sent. Does the ARC report to the credit bureaus? People want to know that. ARC counts resolution service regularly reports to the credit bureaus. That's why this is another data collector. You should be seeing what information that they have, dispute information, because they do report to the credit bureaus, right? The credit reporting agency is entitled that collect payments, credit records, payment history, certain legal information about consumers and businesses. This information is useful for those who grant a loan in order to assess the credibility of the possible debtor and establish an interest rate or other conditions of a loan. And remember, this is American Resolution Services. I'm sorry, I read saying Solution Services, right? And they use this information. What is the key thing? To establish interest rates and other conditions of a loan, right? That's why you want to know what's on this report. Make sure you dispute things that are on this report. Previously reported accounts with payment or adjustment activity will be updated with the credit bureaus. What is ARS and my credit report? American Resolution Services is a third-party debt collection agency that buys owed debts from other collectors, primarily hospitals and medical clinics. So if you're going to be going after your medical debt, American Resolution Services, I was saying solutions, so correct me. This is where you want to be checking to see what information that they're holding on you, right? And then this is the company, once you see that, this is the company you could be disputing that information with. Now, that'll help you get this information off your credit report. American Register may also show up on your credit report as ARS. It's also possible ARS could list the business's name and original credit on your credit report, right? So just remember, this is another. They say this is a debt collector, but they collect data on you. That's why you can freeze this report. American Resolution Service makes money by buying owed debt from hospitals. If you owed your local hospital money and couldn't pay, it's possible that the hospital billing department sold your debt to ARS, American Resolution Services. ARS would have paid only a fraction of the face value of your owed debt. If you owe the hospital $10,000, ARS may have paid $800 for an example. Right? This just let you know all these people. We sometimes we concentrate too much on the three big credit reporting, but we should be concentrating more. And I'm learning more and more that you need to be concentrating on these other third-party data collectors. And that's what I call it. How to remove account resolution services from your credit report. If HR is claiming you owe money, there are more negative repercussions than your phone blowing up, right? So uh, just dispute it just like you would dispute any other information and have them verify that information and validate that information is right. You can send a debt validation letter to ARS. You negotiate a payment or remove the collection from your credit report. Uh, Listen, I tell this all the time. I use restrictive endorsement letter because I need it in writing. But you shouldn't be paying any type of debt collector who's not going to remove it off your credit report. And I tell him, I didn't even sign, even though that you have hopefully you have purchased this debt legally and have a legal standing to collect this debt. I'm not paying this debt without you removing this debt from my credit report. I mean, it ain't even gonna happen. You're gonna have to take me to court to get that. I'm not doing that. A lot of people make a mistake paying that and not getting it off their credit report. Like, you should be trying to get it off. But if you're in a bind, you're trying to buy a house, they say you need to get this off or you just need to pay it. It's not going to stop you from getting in the house. It's not going to affect your interest rate. Just pay the debt, get it done, move on. But me, I would tell you, I would say, get the information, get them the restrictive endorsement letter, or make some kind of arrangement for them to remove it from your credit report. Again, I have a lot of information I obtain. If you need this information, totally free, I will email it to you if you ask for it. Some things, what S cannot legally do, ARS collection does not have a legal right to threaten you with a lawsuit or threaten incarceration or abuse to you in any way. They say best practices, write them a check, negotiate down, give examples, make make an offer to get it removed off your credit report. I'm trying to cut this down because I don't want this video to be too long, just going through everything on here, but there's a lot of information I put. Next one, we're going to jump to Corelogic. Corelogic is the leading global property information and analytics and data enabled solution provider, right? So they more on property, information on property. It says that Corelogic here in Irvine, California, based corporation provide financial, property, and consumer information, analytics, and business intelligence. The company analyze information, asset, and data to provide clients with analytic and customized data. So this is another company that I would say you want to look at when you're going to freeze this account. The next one, Sagestream. We talked about this. Sagestream. What is Sagestream used for? Collect information and provide supplementary consumer report to auto lenders, credit card issuers, retailer, utilities, and mobile cell phone providers and other social network, how they draw you into certain areas where your social network, when you look it up, you may get different things that I get because we have different interests. And they build these profiles on us. And that's why they kind of control, and this is kind of getting deep, but this is how they control our thought process, right? That's why when a lot of times when people be talking to me, especially on social media, like they let the social media already form their opinion, right? Based on the information they see that you do, so they know how to form your thought process. It's crazy, right? So, but this is all in the research that I did on this. So anyway, I just want to kind of line. It wanted to be this long, so I need to get on off of here. But this is information for you about third-party debt collectors and what you should be doing. Look at the information, dispute that information off of them, and then go after the credit bureaus. You have a better likelihood of getting all this stuff off your credit report. So I'm gonna shut it down right now. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the channel. This channel is all about giving you real information and digging deep to help you reach your goals, your financial goals. So again, I'm gonna be shutting this down. The next time you see a video from me, I'll be in Dallas, Texas. Pray for me on my travels back. Make sure I make it back there safely and sound. But I will be coming back bigger, stronger, more content. And that's one of the big reasons why I'm moving back. California, man, just my job just way too much. I couldn't focus on things that are important, the direction I want to go, to be more and more financially free. So, and I want to bring this information to you. So subscribe, share, hit the bell for notification, and I'll see you in a little bit. Pray for me. I'm headed to Texas. I'll see you when I get